Deputy Smith, you have 3.5 minutes.
Do I get to speak now? Yeah, grand. You were looking that way, I thought.
No, sorry.
Calling somebody else up called Smith over that way. We want to welcome the bill and support it as a first step towards addressing the imbalance in the worker-employer rights. And we'd like to note Unite's recent report on low wages and precarious work and Mandate Union's report that found 17% of people who live below the poverty line work in precarious jobs with so-called zero-hour contracts. We had this discussion earlier in topical issues on the question of the Social Justice Ireland report today. The top 1% have seen their wealth and influence grow massively, and the flip side to what has happened there is that thousands of workers who are left without secure pensionable jobs with a living wage. Many in this House would argue against the rights of workers to secure a pensionable job as being uncompetitive, as being jeopardised to the risk of the growth of the economy. The myth that flexible contracts are both for the employer and the employee, where they enter into agreement freely, is really not in the interests of both. Reality is very different. The benefit is overwhelmingly for the employer. Workers can't refuse the contracts for fear that if they turn them down, it will result in them being victimised and having work withdrawn from them. So we're back to the days when Larkin had to organise dockers against a system where foremen could pick and choose the dockers they wanted and the hours they wanted. Now, the University of Limerick report by Esther Lynch has been referred to a number of times, but it is hard, and she acknowledges this in the report, to find figures for Ireland, but the reports that have been done recently for Britain strongly suggest that most people on these contracts are women, are young, or are over 65 years of age. And it also interestingly finds that those guilty of using these type of contracts are not the SMEs and the smaller businesses, but actually the multinationals and the very, very big employers. Those in the likes of Domino's Pizzas, Dunnes Stores, Deliveroo, call centres, contract cleaners, very, very big employers are using these type of contracts. But the ones I want to observe my last comments for, I've lots more to say, I won't get time for, is Fianna Fáil. I just cannot get over the suspenders that make up the Fianna Fáil party, and I made a list of the things that they have suspended in the last couple of weeks: water, bins, repeal the 8th, the NAM investigation, education, equality, and now bandit hours. And I'm probably leaving a couple out, and there's probably more to come. So I think that the attempt by Fianna Fáil to suspend this for a discussion for a year is actually quite disgusting, while at the same time pretending that they give a damn about workers' rights. We want to welcome this bill. Well, we'd like to see it go past committee stage so we could put in some amendments. One, for example, that force employers to pay proper overtime rates, that a minimum period for a worker that can be called into work on such contracts is limited to 4 hours, that the length of time a worker can be put on such contract is limited, and that the proportion of a workforce that can be put on such contracts is limited. Ultimately, we believe the greatest measure to stop this abuse is trade union organisation and the free and legal right for unions to organise in workplaces, to enter workplaces and to speak directly and organise directly their members. That's what will really undermine these type of contracts, not the scare tactics of the type of employer we have to endure, or the obfuscation of Fianna Fáil.
Thank you very much,
I think
Deputy
it's disgraceful.
Okay, our next Deputy